some ground rules for grief work, just some basic principles that I think we have to adopt in order to move through grief. And the first is this: every single grief involves a death. Every grief involves a death. It doesn't have to be the physical death of a person or a pet, a loved one, but something has died. So in the case of betrayal, that can be a lot of different things, but what I hear most often, what has died, number one, the story we shared as I knew it. So our love story, which doesn't necessarily have to be or have been a fairy tale, something perfect. There were problems, there were challenges, but it was our story, and that is gone in light of what I now know. The other thing that often dies is hopes and dreams for the future. I had an expectation that life was going to be this with you, that we were, just as an example, we were about to retire and we were going to do the grandparent thing and we were going to travel around, and now I don't know if I want to be in an RV with you, and I don't know if our grandparents will get to, or our grandchildren will get to enjoy us as grandparents together, and I don't know how much money I'm going to have to spend on therapy, and is that going to enable us to do what we wanted to do? And so there's this loss of an anticipated future and the dreams attached to that that is often gone. That's ground rule number one. Every grief involves a death. Number two, things will never be the same. Things will never be the same. They'll never go back to how they were. And this is where I say to any of you who are listening who did the betraying, you can't just say, oh, I'll never do that again, and think that you're going to be able to pick up where things left off, even if in fact you never do it again, because that old marriage, that old relationship is dead. So things will never be the same. Your betrayed partner will never be able to unknow what she or he now knows about their own story that for so long they did not know. So things will never, ever be the same. And then ground rule number three, and here's the one that if you're early in this process, you may want to, disagree with me, shake your fist at me. You might even turn this podcast off. That's okay. Bookmark it, because maybe you'll come back to it later on in your journey. Ground rule number three is that things can be different and maybe even better.